Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing this fine Saturday evening? I pray your day has been amazing. Let's get in here and pray. Man, today has been an amazing day. God has been blowing and blessing my socks off just in here, sharing wisdom that I already knew, but just in a different way. Has God ever done that to you before? You just sitting there with your mouth wide open. Ooh, thank you, God, for being Jehovah Nissi, the God of the banner. You place a hedge of protection in front of me, behind me, and on top of me. You keep me safe by any means necessary. Psalms 91, you place me underneath your mighty wing, and nothing shall by any means harm me. No evil will befall me, neither will any plague come nigh my dwelling. 1,000 may fall at my left-hand side, and 10,000 at my right, but it shall not come near me. No weapon formed against me will prosper. It will form, but I have the breakthrough formula from Jesus, Thoth, and Arumala. Why all three? God said he calling everybody to the table. And he called everybody out, letting you know you can't say you didn't hear it. Okay. He said, if you want to come sit down, come on and sit down. And I walk in and instead of fussing about what it looks like, just saying, God said he calling everybody to the table because he never put a blockade at the table. He said, come as you are. And then we'll work out everything else as we go. Okay. Jehovah Shalom, the God of peace, the peace that passes all understanding. Woo! Philippians 4. Think on these things that are good and of a good report. And if I keep my mind stayed on you, you will keep me in perfect peace. No, it don't make sense, but it makes faith. What I have faith in, I'm going to believe. And what I believe, I'm going to act on. And what I act on, I'm going to see it in the spirit realm before I see it in this realm, because this realm is heavy and it's dense. And it's so many things that's constantly moving and shaking. So many things are twisted in this realm. Whatever's happening in this realm is the opposite of what's going on in the spirit realm. Jehovah Sabaoth, the God of hosts, you're here, you're there, you're everywhere. You are me and I am you. Woo, you're in my heart. God placed a small allspark in our hearts before we entered our mother's womb. This is what he told Jeremiah in Jeremiah 1 and 2. He said, before you enter your mother's womb, I knew thee. If he said it for one, he gonna say it for all, because God is no respecter of person. God is not like man. God is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. Come on here now. If he said it, you can believe it, and it will be. Hush your fussing. Come on here now. And then God is not an aspect of love. God is love. He places an aspect of love in our hearts, which is himself. Okay. And then we go into the womb of our mother. The thing is this: before we come out through the birth canal, we have a covenant made with God. But the thing is, once we get in this realm, we forget everything and we go through amnesia. There's also a second time you go through amnesia. Once you are walking with God and things, you go through the rebirth. It's not just going down and accepting Lord as your Savior to your life. There's a whole nother realm behind that nobody really talked about. We learn a lot in church, but nobody never tells you that you gonna have to work this out. Hold up there now, and let me tell you something. God allows that spark to be in our heart a foot or 3 feet, and it can be felt a foot, 3 feet, 20, 60, 100, 1,000 feet. It can be bigger than that, but it depends on how it works in you. Ephesians 3:20, God said he would do exceedingly abundantly above all we could ask or think, according to how it works in you. So according to how you believe is according to how you gonna see God's love in your life, how people are going to see God in your life, and how people are going to feel you before you even enter the room. They're going to feel your energy before they see you. Jehovah Elohim, the God of gods. Woo! We made all this stuff to put in between us and God. Religion, all this stuff. And God said, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. I'm the creator of everything. Before you go to anybody, you get the opportunity to come and speak to me. And then you get a confirmation at the brook where you are. If that brook is dried up, which it did for Elijah, then God sent him to another place to be another brook. God always has a place for you. You hear me? God is never surprised at what's going on. You are. I am. 4:44 on the clock. I am. You are. But you know what? God is never surprised. Hush your fuss and get on the bus. Just know that. God said, come to me. So you're not be hoodwinked, bamboozled, and lied to, and then you feel some kind of way when you find out you've been sitting underneath an Ichabod church the whole time, or Ichabod business. Ichabod could be over anything. That means the glory of the Lord is departing. That's why God is giving you intuition, wisdom, to pay attention to see where he's at. And if he ain't there, it's time to exit. Stage left. That's all I'm saying. Jehovah El Shaddai, the Most High God, your name is higher than any name that is on this earth or the universe. If, let me tell you something, if it can be congregated in a sentence and a punctuation put at the end of that sentence, God is higher than that. And then if you think of something, or I think of something, and we try to say it, it's going to be in a sentence or a paragraph, that means it's in a sentence. And it's going to have punctuation at the end. So God is higher than that. There's no way to get around it that God made everything, including us. And who do we think that we can be bigger than the person that made it? Jehovah Jireh, my provider. There is no lack. There's only provision. You're more than enough. And you supply all I need. It may not look the way I thought it was going to look, but it's being supplied. I'm worthy because I exist, and I exist because I'm worthy, because I was born of a womb of a woman. That's it. That's your worthiness. There's nothing that God, that's your birthright. There's nothing that God will ever withhold from me, James 1. God is my source, not the things on the outside of me. See, God will use people on the earth to bless me. But see, the wealth comes from the north, as above, so below, not from the east, west, or the south. It will always be supplied supernaturally if I believe it. It's based on my frequency and my energy, which is key. If God is here and I'm over here, God said, come to me as you are. That means I get up, change my perspective. Every time you get up and go to somebody, you change your perspective. Make sure it's worth it. Okay. Jehovah Rapha, my healer. You heal my mind, my soul, my body, my spirit. Woo, you hear so much of me. Me and God were talking today, and I was just walking and doing something. I said, wait a minute. I don't feel that tinge. I should supposed to get on the bus. Look at you doing stuff without me noticing. Jehovah Gamola, the God of the recompense. There is no getting even with people, no arguing with people. They know what they did, you know what they did. So why are we hashing that out? No reason to. Just send all that negative energy up to the Creator, ask the Creator to cleanse and purify, send it back, so you can send it back to the sender, cleanse and purify. Ain't no blocking their path, and no stopping their path. No matter what they done. Because we operate through cause and effect, sowing and reaping, and corresponding action, meaning every seed that goes in the ground is a seed. It turns into a tree, whether good or bad, whatever you put down there. I live under the law of assumption that is already worked out, and I don't have to stress about it. Everything doesn't require my response or my fight. I choose my battles properly, and I leave it in God's hands. No fussing and no stressing me out. And so it will be, and it's more to be, and forevermore. Some things don't require you to be fussing about. Some things require you to just zip your lips and let God be God. And you be who you are. Sometimes God just wants you to surrender to the process and just be quiet. It ain't always easy, but doable. Look in the description below to see the items, see a few items just for you. My books incorporate the essence of God. If you want to feel the presence of God, read In the Garden with the Father, Understanding True Intimacy. Okay, let's read something right here. Every time I open something up, Woo, expectations on page 21. You haven't seen nothing yet. I'm getting ready to blow your mind. God's getting ready to blow your mind. That's Jacqueline Carr. Woo, you will win. Hush your fuss now. Come on here now. Let me come on back because I went somewhere for a few seconds. Let me come back. See, God's word is always there, in season and out of season, to give a word straight to your heart. Let me tell you, Befriending It, then my other two books, Befriending the Shadow, Unshakable Peace, Unstoppable Change, both of those books are shadow activity books. Why? Because it allows you to have fun while you're working on your shadow. Why? When I was working on my shadow, I was bringing forth my inner child and my inner teenager. So every time I do something, I bring them with me. So that's what I did with the book. So you get a word of knowledge, then you get an exercise fun, then you get a shadow question. Not so fun. You know why it's not so fun? Because it's going to hit you in the gut. Okay, it's going to cause you to look in the mirror and ask yourself some questions. Then you get a color page. A color page is between the ages of 5 and 10. Why God asked me to keep it that way? Because most childhood wounding happens between the age of 5 and 10. Then, by the age of 7, it's solidified in the system. By the age of 10, it's really strong. And then if it's still with you by the age of 21 or 25, it's your responsibility to work it out. Okay. Then your last thing you have is 5 things per book, and it's 22 chapters per book. Then you have 4 pages, okay, of sketching, drawing, doodling, having a good time, just enjoying yourself while you're also processing it out. Because even though you processing your shadow out, doesn't mean it has to be unfun. Because the more fun you have doing it, the more time you will go to it, and the more time you will set on your calendar, and the more time you will set away from other people so you can work on you. Okay, no one else but you. Okay, no matter what your background, because God don't care. He don't need a background check. God know the hairs on your head. Okay, even if you got peach fuzz. My other 2 books are already on New York Times bestseller list: Influence and Impact with Chris Voss, and Mindset Matters with Jack Canfield. Again, no matter what your background is, God don't need no background check. He already know you. He said, I've known you for a long time, even before you even came in a human vessel. Notebooks and journals for all, coloring books that help in meditating and recalibrating the mind. You'll see the link to the podcast with the Women's Leveling Up that I did in May. You'll also see 2 other links of magazines I was carried in September, October, and December. I placed a link of my own personal bookstore. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that. Why? Because I'm in charge of my own intellectual property. Even though a lot of it is on Amazon, although my special journals are just on my personal bookstore. There are some freebies there just for you. I added a link of 105 spiritual laws. They were 7 in the Kabbalah book for the initiates. Then it was 12 in another book. And I said, God does not operate in the spirit of confusion. Did some research, finding there was 105. Pause, disclaimer. Although it's 105 spiritual laws, according to Galatians 3, if we offend in one law, we offend in all. That means if you start working on the law and you mess up, that means you got to go get you a goat, or you choose to do it the way. So that's the Mosaic law way. We're now underneath Jesus, and you can say whether Jesus is an archetype or whatever you want to say, but this is what I know. If he was an archetype, why did they work so hard in 100 AD and 200 AD to take the book, 54 books out of the Bible and have them in the Apocrypha? Because something happened. You don't work that hard to cover up something that didn't happen. That's all I'm going to say. And you didn't work that hard to put it in people's mouth and say stuff like that. Because you're working mighty hard to prove that something didn't happen. Ain't nobody trying to prove that Buddha didn't live. Ain't nobody trying to prove that Krishna didn't live, or Hecate didn't live, or Kali Ma. It's just Jesus. That lets you know something. There's some power in that name. Okay. He gave us the ability to love the unlovable. So first of all, you can put up a boundary. Boom. And you can say, I release you in love, or I send nothing but cleansing and purifying energy as you go on your way. Because I'm going on my way, you going on your way. We are now Lot and Abraham. We used to walk together because we agreed like Amos, but now it says in Amos, you can only walk together if you agree. So we're sending you on your way. Boom. And then the scripture says, the disciple said, Jesus, how many times do I forgive my brother? 7 times 7? Jesus said, no, 7 times 70. That is 490 times for the same indiscretion. And let me tell you why. Then he said, the Lord's Prayer, Lord, forgive me of my trespasses as I forgive those that trespass against me, meaning you forgive yourself first. So first of all, you go in there, you say, Father God, I forgive myself. Because I didn't know until I got betrayed what was going on. I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea what was going on. Now I see. Okay, I get it. And then you say, and I forgive the person who harmed me, because you already got a boundary. So you ain't got to worry about that no more. You ain't opening that door. You got a boundary and you going about your business. And then you forgive them. And let me tell you why. You forgive yourself first, you forgive them. You're not forgiving them for their sake, you're forgiving it for your sake. Because if you don't keep moving, you can be taken from you for having unforgiveness. Okay. You don't want that, because that can keep you in a standstill. If that keep you in a standstill, whatever is trying to harm you can, okay? God don't want to put you in that position. Then on top of that, you have the grace, God's willingness to get involved in human affairs. Okay, that's when God will reach down and grab you and pull you out of any situation. If you like me, I told God, I said, look, if I'm in a situation, you have free reign to come and get me out of. He said, say less, I will, because I don't put too much in you. Just like we have the 10 commandments. It's really 613 commandments. You want to see it? Go look in the Torah, the Tanakh, or the Kamash. You can get them wherever Christian books are sold or wherever books are sold. Okay. And if they don't have it, I'm pretty sure they will order you a copy just to have your business. Okay. And in that, God told the Israelites, there's no way possible you can keep 613 laws every day for the rest of your life. And they said, yes, we can. Us and our children. I said, wait a minute. I didn't get it. That ain't my vow. I didn't ask to be involved in that. Then on top of that, there was a situation to where Jesus was getting ready to be taken care of. And they said, who do you want me to release? Barabbas or Jesus? And they said Barabbas was a serial killer. And they said they wanted to release Jeffrey Dahmer instead of releasing Jesus. That lets you know. And to see the reason why they did that, because the religious leaders of that time told them to do so. Okay. Honey. And they promised him so much and never gave it to him. And then, so just think about that. Just think about that right there. Just think about that for a minute. And then they said, just put it on us and our children. Wait a minute, I didn't ask to be involved in that neither. See, that's what a generational trauma and baggage is. And see, we get the opportunity to say, once we see it, no, that's our believers' authority. No, I didn't ask to be involved in this, and I'm going to stop it. Because once you the breaker, you put your hand up like the police would to give you a ticket or to be at the crosswalk. Wait your turn. Like Gandalf, you shall not pass in the Lord of the Rings. We have that ability. Once you see something you don't like, we have the ability to say, stop, no. And once you stop it, that's when God gets involved. He said, because they don't like this, so we finna get involved and do everything we need to do. We know everything, but we don't know anything. And that's why you see what's happening with this three there's three Atlas. I think I'm saying it right. All of that's going on because we started saying no. Once we started saying no, oh, the spirit realm said, oh, it is. 26,000 years is ended. Let's go ahead and get this thing going. Let's get it cracking. That's why the sun is doing what the sun is doing. Okay. Because we know everything, but we don't know anything. And this keeps us from attachments as we go through each level and lesson. Talk to me about Jesus, Thoth, and issue. You see how everybody's taken care of. So you can't say you don't know. The Adjective PDF and the 400 Values PDF, put them together to change your whole Sims character to the janky promoter game. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter for the juicy updates and the upcoming events. Don't forget to look at my link for the school app. I'm just getting things started over there. Come and sit with me. I was inducted into the new class of Who's Who and influential women of 2025 and um women worldwide. And then look what I received in 2017. I completely forgot about it till I was cleaning up. I received this when I was doing work with my nonprofit. I was helping, well, I had help, but then everybody was gone. And I said, well, keep going. I was bringing women and teenage girls out of sex trafficking. I was helping teenage girls that had came out and said they were LGBTQAI. Girls that had came out and said they was pregnant and their parents kicked them out. I put them in teen places so they could continue to grow as a teen. Okay. But I checked on them until they said they didn't need to be checked on no more. And then I helped domestic violence. And then I helped those that had lost everything in a fire or in a flood. I had a storage unit and people knew I had a nonprofit. So they was always giving me stuff. I had beds, mattresses, flat screen TV, shoes, clothes, all the things that you needed to start over if you needed to start over. I had all of that. And so people would just come and I would say, how many bedrooms you got? And they would tell me, and I would say, just get what you need because somebody else is coming. And man, I was just helping so many people. And I was giving them little Ziploc bags with toothbrush, toothpaste, things that you need, deodorant, just little simple things. But when you lost everything, these are the things that you need. And the women, I was giving them the baggies with the women's things that they're gonna need. You know what I'm saying? And And then I will also put in there some fingernail polish and some fingernail polish remover. And then I would give them like a $20 gift card just so they could go get some underwear, a bra. You know what I'm saying? Just to start, because the Red Cross and everybody else is helping it. But right now, you need this right now. And mm, 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 mm. I'm just so thankful. I helped out this one woman for Thanksgiving and found out that everybody at her job had just was getting ready to get laid off. So I found out their names and helped out in a way that I thought I could. And so basically I put the names in there and pulled out the names, and then got two gifts for the children. I found out how many children it was, got two gifts for the children, catered their Christmas meal, and then bought $150 worth of groceries for both families, because everything that I was getting, I was putting back into the nonprofit, the building. And I didn't take any pictures except for the people that I was giving the stuff to, and I put it on my website because, and I sent women through therapy to get started back over, because I thought that's what I would have wanted when I was homeless and I needed help and nobody was there. So I gave what I would have wanted. I'm so glad that God sees everything that you do, because He said, whatever you do in private, I will reward you in public. Woo. I'm just so grateful and thankful. I am. Don't forget to look at the link to receive a 25% off your first order. This is the company I use along with All Natural Remedies. Once I received a diagnosis in 2017 that I had breast cancer, and they gave me 6 months to live, and I said, the devil is a lie. I'm not going nowhere. I'm staying right here. And the doctor was like, well, it's all on your left-hand side. We can see it right now. You see it right there. And I said, I see it. But that don't mean I got to sit here and receive what you saying. I cursed that to the root. They was like, well, this is what you need to do. And they were trying to beat me up. And I said, Now I curse it to the root, and I said, I bind up every disease, every bacteria, every germ, every tumor, every growth, every parasite that's growing on my body, and I curse it to the root, and I send it back to the pit of hell from whence it came, and I loose the blood of Jesus, and I loose the hand of God, and I said, and I take full responsibility for myself, because I ate that food. I did it to myself, hand to mouth, hand to mouth. I can't blame nobody else but myself. Ooh, yes, they put the stuff in the food and I didn't know it, but at the same time, uh-huh. So when you take full responsibility for yourself, God will step in there. And He's gonna deal with everything else that need to be dealt with. But the only thing I cared about at that time was me. I didn't care what was going on with everybody else. It ain't none of my business. Okay. Sometimes we need to stay in our own lane so we can see what's going on with us. So then we can get what we need to be and forget what everything else is going on around us. Okay. Honey, I left there. The doctor was like, what you talking? I said, I'm putting my order in, honey. When I come back with my testimony, you know what I'm talking about. The word says we overcome with the blood, the word of our testimony, and the blood of the lamb, and the word of our testimony. Hush your fuss and get on the bus. So then I went home. I talked to God. He said, get that naturopathic doctor done it. And then pulled out everything the doctor said he had on alkaline, showed my naturopathic doctor. They said, okay, this is fine, but according to your blood type, this will turn the acid in your body. So I'm gonna need you to cut off that, and you can keep this. According to some blood types, you can have ketchup, you can have 1,000 Island. Some blood types, you can't even drink the pickle juice because it won't alkaline in your body. I'm just saying, find out what your blood type is and operate with you, and not follow the crowd, because sometimes the crowd will put you in the grave. Okay. And then I listened to my ancestors. They say get that dandelion. They say get that morning glory. And then they said get that crabgrass. That crabgrass is what I call it. That dark spot in your backyard. And that long grass that go in the back. That's what I call crabgrass. And the long grass is onions. It's wild onions. It's like a scallion. You can cut it up and put it in your food. Oh, it tastes so good. It does. It tastes so good. Because our ancestors had to live off the land. All right. Then my God, my God. Then he said, get that poke salad. And I said, what? So I got it. Poke salad looked like cilantro and lettuce had a baby together, and it's serrated around the edges, and it kind of has a nutty flavor and a kind of minty flavor at the same time. If you try it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It will change the flavor of your meal. But Look now, our ancestors lived off this. It is edible. Not only that, but marigolds are edible as well. And they are anti-inflammatory. You can eat that whole plant. How about that? Mm-mm. Honey, and let me tell you, I ate that. I put it on top of my spinach, underneath my jasmine rice, with my squash, my zucchini, my red onions, red, orange, and yellow bell peppers. You wasn't gonna tell me I wasn't living my best life. Child, yes, I was. I'm so thankful to still be here. I tell God every morning I'm thankful. I put my hand on my heart and tell him how thankful I am. Psalms 91, 1 through 6, NLT, those who live in the shelter of the Most High will find rest in the shadow of the Almighty, because God is amazing that way. This I declare about the Lord. He alone is my refuge, my place of safety. He is my God, and I trust him. For he will rescue me from every trap and protect me from every deadly disease, and did. And he will cover me with his feathers and shelter me with his mighty wings, and did it and does it every day. He is faithful to his promises. Let's talk about God's promises. God's promises every day are yes and amen. The thing is, if you like me, I like the law of opulence. The things are going to be amazing. It's going to be a quality of a something, not a whole bunch of quantity. And so God asked me what I want, and I tell him, he said, okay, what I need you to do is every day take a step, a small step every day. And some days what I'm going to ask you to do is just surrender. When you surrender, I'm going to walk you through a process, and I'm going to need you to walk in that process, and I'm going to drop some wisdom on you, and I'm going to need you to write that wisdom down until you are ready to use it, okay? Because even though I give you that wisdom today, you might not be able to ready to use it because you haven't hit the marker yet to be able to use it. That's your fuss to get on the bus. My armor and my protection. I'm not afraid of the terrors of the night, nor the bullets that fly at day. I do not dread the disease that stalks in darkness. Why? David told us, he shut it down. He said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, my rod and staff. What? Who knew my spine and my shoulder to shoulder was my cross? And Jesus said, pick up your cross daily. Carry your cross daily and follow me. That's what he said. Little do we know we had it inside of us. And right here in the middle, break that down. That is where our higher self sit at. Right here. Right underneath. Right underneath there's a road. Your higher self sit there. That's why you be hearing so much good stuff. That's why it's called the ear, nose, and throat doctor. They all connected. Mm. Did you see that? And then it says, should my cup overflows, huh? My cup runneth over. That means overflow. That means infinite. Everything that God has given to you is infinite. It is infinite because God ain't gonna stop. Because every time He gonna get to you, you gonna empty out the bucket, and then God gonna fill it back up. You gonna empty out the bucket, and God gonna fill it back up. That's how it works. Ooh. And then it says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Ooh. And then you go to Isaiah 53, and it says, God will send the angels to go before me to set us sudden and make the crooked places straight, and God is always my rear guide. Come back. God is always my rear guide, making sure that goodness and mercy is always following me because that's who He is. Okay, goodness and mercy, because that's what love is, goodness and mercy. Follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I am the house of God, which is the house of the Lord. Once I leave this human vessel, I still am the house of the Lord because I am going back to the spirit realm from whence I came. Because remember, we are spirits first, we live in a body, and we have a soul. Nor the disaster that strikes at midday. Don't remember, you were spirit first. That's why everything happens in the spirit before it comes here. We came here to learn. Hand over heart for affirmation, or however you choose to say it. I am not society's script. I am my own definition. I am not of this system, but a flame from God. Source, the divine. I don't stress about what I can't physically fix. If it can't be fixed in 15 minutes, let it go. I let go of that attachment. I monitor the use of my own energy. Okay. Watch the flow of your own energy. Are we asking ourselves what we truly, really want? Are we truly happy? Like, for real? Are you happy with where your life is? If not, what are you willing to do about it? What are you willing to change? What are you willing to do to change it? Have you sat with God to find his plan to see if it matches yours? Why or why not? Are you willing to even ask God, what is the plan for your life? Why or why not? Are you willing to stay in comfort or desire to get uncomfortable to live your dreams? Why or why not? Are you willing to walk away from anything or anyone that no longer aligns with what you hold the most important? Why or why not? Are you willing to surrender to God instead of fighting for everything you want? Why or why not? If you've done a vision board, are you living what you put on that daily in small forms? Why or why not? Why am I asking these questions? On January 5th through the 7th was official quitting days and how humans operate. It has been documented that uncomfortability causes many to run back to what they know. Are we still doing small workouts, even if it's not turning your body as quick as you like? Why or why not? Are you building your dream daily, or are you complaining that it's not here yet? Why or why not? How long are you willing to wait for what's yours? What God does is to see if you really want it and how bad you want it. It doesn't come overnight, and it may take longer than you think. Mhm. Are you going to keep at it until you see the end product? Why or why not? Are you willing to celebrate the small wins with yourself and put it up somewhere so where only you can see it? Why or why not? What keeps you on track, and are you willing to use it daily? Only you can answer these questions in your life. Be honest with yourself. Become who you've always dreamed of. Because remember this, your higher self has already done it. If you have already seen it in a vision, if you've already seen the end from the beginning, you've already been there. Now you just walking out the steps to get there. The questions were asked to see where you have eggshells on the floor, and no one is going to tiptoe around your wounds. It is not our responsibility on a daily to find out why it bothers you. It is your responsibility to find out that, and mine, so we can heal in that area. Read Acts 6 and 7 on your own whenever you have time and see where we are right now. If Jesus wasn't real, why do they work so hard to remove particular books out of the Bible? It makes you wonder, only because if he wasn't real, why would you cover it up? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Because I ask myself that question all the time. He's the only one everyone goes after. No one else. Just it's just an observation. No one other ever questions Buddha, Krishna, Kalima, Hecate. Um, Even the things they say is a myth. Nobody ever questions that. But they took out 54 books of the Bible that talked about Jesus. They say Jesus was an archetype instead of a person. And we have history books showing in actual history that Jesus was an actual person. Yeah. So the mere fact that they trying to do that lets you know that his name has more power on it than what they're trying to let you know. Because every time you say it, the system shrinks and shrivels like the hyenas on the Lion King, Mufasa. Say his name and people's mask just falls off of their facade. They ready to fight you, honey. It ain't got nothing to do with you. It's because you called on that name that got power. It will never lose its power. It reaches to the highest mountain, and it flows to the lowest valley. Oh, yeah, the blood that gives me my strength from day to day. It will never lose its power. hush your fuss and get on the bus. Do you hear me? Jesus' name will never lose its power. When you get in a tight knot, I dare you to call his name and see what happens. I dare you to see all your ancestors. Everybody roll up. All your angels have been telling me, oh, we've been waiting on you to call that name. Even if you don't know him. I dare you to call him when you get in trouble. Symptoms today. Exercising and stretching to lengthen my muscles. Ooh, that stretch. I did that stretch again. Plus, my third eye and my crown been like wide open. Y'all don't understand. When I say wide open, and then I had a moment today when it felt like one side of my head was like numb, and I was seeing like crazy visions while that was going on. I was just like, wow. And I grounded myself in, and I could just hear my ancestors. Like for real, like I was hearing them talk to me like, you got this. We see you. I don't know how thin the veil is, but I heard him talking to me today. Like I heard my uncle. And my uncle been gone for a long time. Yeah. Yeah. I was hyping myself up all day, just being my own cheerleader and then resting. I woke up feeling so much anticipation, but I don't see anything. But I know something is happening because something is changing in the cosmos and the heavens. Because I wasn't supposed to hear my ancestors that close today. Excuse me, confirmation bird. See what I'm saying? I wasn't supposed to hear them like that. And I never met my grandfather. I never met him. My grandmother's husband, never met him. But today I heard his voice. I've never met that man. Never met him. For some odd reason, I was kept away from him from my family. I don't know why. I don't know. I never met him. I just remember being in school and everybody went to go visit him, but I was left behind. And everybody came and got everybody out of school. Everybody went, but I was left behind. And there was a note talking about we went here and you're not supposed to be outside and all of this. And I just remember this today and I'm just like, why y'all leave me like that? And I was a kid. I was like in elementary school, like second grade. Like I said, Gen X kids, yeah, we were latchkey kids. We knew how to take care of ourselves. And I had an auntie that she's gone now, but she was my favorite auntie, and she showed me how to become a woman. And she would come down to the house and bring food for me to eat. And I was just told not to leave out of the house. And I just remember that so vividly. So they went to go see him, and I never got a chance to see him. Never. The only time I saw him was when he was in a casket. Never met him. I rested today and allowed space for God to have control today. I wrote down a lot and let God lead today. I grounded, I was earthing and cloud watching and watched the tree limbs blow in the wind and change directions. When I surrender, everything is working on my behalf. And God has room to move around and do what God need to do. Let me tell you something. When God want to come in and make himself big, let him make himself big. You just sit back. You let God be who God is, and you don't rush nothing. Let God do what God is going to do. Do you hear me? Let God do it. I pray for all of us to see God, see what God is doing. And God said he sent all the signs. Are you paying attention? I heard, don't miss this moment. You've been waiting for a long time. Out of everyone calling his name, he makes time for you. He makes time for you. Hands go up, praise getting loud. All that you need, it can happen right now. Tasha Cobbs Leonard, woo! Y'all, this messed me up. This one messed me up. I was not ready for you today, Pastor Shirley Caesar. I was not ready for you today, what you did to me. I was just singing the song that I always sing. But today, I sang two of the songs that I always sing of her. And today them things hit me differently. There's a song, I forget the name of it, but I was humming it. Then I was playing, and I was in the backyard, and then she said, Shirley ain't playing no more. And I was singing that song first. And then I started singing praising him. Oh, I feel like praising him. Praise him in the morning, praise him all day long. I feel like praising him. You ain't ready for the old school gospel. Then I messed up. This is the one that got me. I sang that one first. And then I was just sitting here and I was just humming and going like this. And I said, Jesus, Jesus, man, it's about to happen right now. Tears just fell. I couldn't stop them. I couldn't. I just let them fall. I said, Lord, I don't know what's up with this song, but I've sang this song so much as a kid. I don't know the thing I'm gonna say is y'all go listen to this song, Jesus by Southern Caesar. Whoo! Y'all don't understand. Sometimes in the morning, sometimes late at night. When I got on my knees, Jesus, everything was alright. Oh, Jesus, Jesus, oh sweet Jesus, Jesus, oh how I love to call her. Y'all gotta go listen to that song. Y'all don't know what I'm talking. It hit different today. Something happened earlier today. I don't know what happened. Woo, my God, this hit different today. Just go listening to you for yourself. So many other things happened today that I just wrote in my journal. I mean, so many breakthrough moments. Oh, and I made a smoothie today. Different one. You know the fruit cocktail kind of. It's pineapple, peaches. What is that? Honeydew, cantaloupe, that comes in a frozen bag. I had that, and I had bought some beets. I bought like 2 beets, and I cut them up and I put them in Ziploc bags. And I took some of the beets and I put it in the smoothie. Then I threw in some rosemary and I threw in some basil. Oh, you ain't ready for what basil will do. Basil helps you moves your fluids, and it protects you against UTIs. Fresh basil, that holy basil, fresh basil. I just put it in the smoothie. Then I put the leaves that was on the beets in the fruit smoothie. And then I put some of that flaxseed in there. And a banana. Y'all don't understand how much. Oh, and some coconut oil. That gave me life. Yeah. I just started remembering stuff. Oh, and rosemary. And I threw in a little bit of oregano for the parasites. Hush your fuss. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Child today. And I was just noticing how certain pain wasn't there today. I said, okay, God, I see. Everybody gets their opportunity to do their own work and see things in their own timing. It's hard when you love folks when in their own timing, okay? Keep going. They get the opportunity to decide just like you did. I know you care for them, but what are they showing you? Are you seeing this with your own 2 eyes? Are you paying attention? Some want to only connect with you when they feel you growing. Let them go on their own way and learn their own lessons. They will hold you down for moving forward. They say, I'm ready to go. And then they try to go to the next level and get kicked in the face and be pushed back. Like that Christmas story, he said, you shoot your eye out and Santa Claus kicked them in the face. Just let go. It'll be okay. God has you and them. Trust it. Everyone must work out their own salvation with fear and trembling. Trust in God. Don't carry somebody else's battle. Philippians 2:12. Save yourself and keep going. Only thing you can do is pray and let God do what he gonna do. Because see, it ain't time for no more martyrdom and sacrificing your life for somebody else. That's over with. God said, keep going. Let them figure it out. James 1:19-21 NLT. Because God don't put too much in you. He don't need you to do that no more. Don't allow anyone to take your power or your energy. Understand this, my dear brothers and sisters. If you hear the music, they having a party out there. You must be quick to listen and slow to speak and slow to get angry. Why? Because human anger doesn't produce the righteousness God desires. Now that righteous anger, oh, that's when you finna use something. That's when God finna do something. So get rid of all that negative thinking and humbly accept the word that God has planted in your heart. I don't know what God has planted in your heart. That's between you and God. For it has the power to save your souls. Who will save your soul? I think that's Crystal Lewis from back in the day. I think late 80s, early 90s. Verses like the Quran 1753 and 4148 highlight the importance of speaking kindly and avoiding slander. Now, this is the Quran now. Now, we done came from the Bible. I'm speaking the Quran now. It's the same language, ain't nothing different. Avoiding slander and gossip and speaking the truth. Then 254 emphasizes that it's not for creation that is under Allah to question Allah's decisions. It requires a believer to surrender to Allah's will, which is the message of faith and surrender to divine authority. Then 427, let's break it down. This is all in the Quran. It says to operate in love and peace, surrendering to Allah's will, loving all, and allowing Allah to lead. I promise you, this is the same thing we doing with God. So why we fighting each other? Please tell me why we fighting each other. Oh, because colonialism and imperialism got in there and told you not to trust me and me not to trust you. That's why. Oh, and colonialism and imperialism said don't trust black people. Why? Because they already know that we are the original people here. So they don't want you to get close with us. So they sow bad seeds in the ground, not knowing that all them seeds that they done sowed in the ground is about to be an oak tree. What? Do yeah. Okay. That's Mars Day. Do you know who you really are? It's time that we get into our studies and find out who we really are. That's between you and God. I don't know what your studies are. Pray, meditate, and find out who you really are. Be so secure when things come to steal your joy, you bounce back quicker each and every time. You be like, boop, boop. Be like a speed bump instead of a mountain. You be like, toop, toop. Oh, that's all you got? Okay, I'm in here. Because you've been working that muscle. I'm still saying, I'm worthy of love. You know why I'm worthy of love? Because it's my birthright. It's my blood ball right. Okay. Woo, God made sure we was worthy because God is in our heart. So if God is in our heart, we are worthy. I'm worthy of a life I love. I get the opportunity to love the life I'm living. And if I don't, I can switch that stuff around with the adjective and 400 values and change my Sims character. I'm worthy of a rounded, wealthy life. Let's talk about this. When you are worthy of a rounded, wealthy life, that means, go read it for yourself, Psalms 112, and see what it says. It says, you and your children's children. Hush your fuss. God said he will bless you and your children's children. Because you decided God's way was better than your own. And then that's infinite wealth. God has infinite wealth, infinite ideas, infinite innovation, infinite finances, infinite. Because if you have infinite ideas, you have an infinite way to get finances. You can lose everything today and be back on top in little or no time. Because you have what? The key to the source. You can bind on earth and whatever is bound on earth is loosed in heaven. And what is loosed on earth is loosed in heaven. That's the keys to the kingdom, honey. God gave us the keys to the kingdom, but are you using them? I'm worthy of the dream that is in my heart. If it's in my heart, you best believe I'm going to get it. Because see, when you start binding and loosing, oh, God's like, wait a minute. Somebody is using the keys. Get down there and see what's going on. I release timelines that's no longer for me. Let's talk about it. Amy said two can only walk together if they agree. We no longer agree, so I'm going to send you on your way and I'm going to go on my way. I'm not mad at you. I'm not angry with you. I'm not bitter with you. We're Abraham and Lot. So I'm setting up a boundary and I see nothing but cleansing and purifying energy to you. And I'm going to release you in love and allow you to go your way and I'm going to go my other way. I cut the cords of connection. Clip, 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 clip. I burn it. Just like a woman that don't want to have children no more. She get it cut, tied, everything burnt. But after 7 years, you can still have another baby. Okay. And cut, burn, and sever the cord of connection, because if we ain't walking together no more, why are you over here looking and see what I'm doing? Go on about your business, Mr. Wilson. We don't, go on about your business. Okay. I release timelines that require me to shrink. If I have to be a lower version of who I used to be, oh, you need to quit holding your breath and you're going to be gone by tomorrow morning, okay? Because I'm not doing that no more. I'm not rushing or placing pressure on myself. I'm just open for clear communication and wisdom on my next move in stillness. Let me tell you something. When you get still, you get so much wisdom. And you say, wait a minute. I'm smart. I got degrees on top of degrees, but I ain't that smart. That came straight out of the throne room. I walk forward lighter, clearer, and deeply supported. I'm never alone. I have my ancestors, angels, and God. That is a threefold cord that is not easily broken. I'm so secure knowing if I'm walking by myself, I'm never truly alone. Let me tell you something. My ancestors come out them bushes and do guerrilla warfare. They in the underworld. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no control over them that's in the underworld. When they come out, you on your own. That's between you and them. You know why? Because your ancestors has done something, and they said, I'm coming back for my lick. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Because, see, I don't do lick. I don't do tick for tat and licks. I don't do that. I let God handle that. They ain't got nothing to do with me. Because we all sowing seeds. So the seeds you put in the ground is what you're going to receive. Whether you sowing scamming seeds or lying seeds or true seeds or love seeds, whatever you put in the ground returns a tree. It always turns into a sturdy oak tree, or like them trees in Lebanon, like the scripture says. Okay. Them sycamores in Lebanon. Okay. Get it together. The angels always bring me in something amazing. They always do. That causes my heart to light up. It never fails. Every day they do something to catch me off guard in nature. It never fails. And I'm always sitting with my mouth wide open or somewhere crying. I'm just like, come on, y'all. You got me out here in these streets crying. I'm aware enough to pause, breathe, and sit still for the next move. I just know that I am loved in every way that love can show itself. You hear me? There's 101 million ways for love to show itself. Are you ready to open up your heart to receive it? People go out of their way to do me good because of the favor of God on my life. Rules, laws, regulations, and any red tape is removed for me. It is said we don't even usually do this. They can't even help it. But guess what? I can't even. But if God say, my intuition say, and my ancestors say, I wish you would get up and go over there. I'm done. My hands is up. You know why? Because God is fighting a battle I don't need to fight. I have miracles every day, and uncommon blessings find me without me even searching for them. They just fall upon me because I'm aligned. You know how that happens? If you start listening to your intuition, it'll line you right on up, and you don't even realize you lining right up. Because you in your word, you listening to God, you listen to your intuition, you listen to your ancestors, you listening. And let me tell you something. God will drop some wisdom on you that'll mess you up. You like, really? I didn't even think of it like that. Okay. I'm just saying, I don't consent to any energy control. I'm grounded, safe, and fully in control of myself, untouchable and fully sovereign in myself. All cords are removed from me. Cut, snip, burn, burn. I sever the cord of connection. That's when you're willing to walk by yourself for a minute until God sends who he needs to send. I'm worthy of my own dreams and everything my heart desires. Honey, let me tell you something. If it's in here, you best believe it's coming to pass because I don't see myself stopping. If there's a will, there's a way. I allow clear thinking to find me without fighting for it. I ain't got to fight you. I ain't got to compete with you. I ain't got to yell with you. I ain't got to do nothing. Because if it's my lane, it's my lane, honey. I'm worthy of seeing all my dreams come true while seeing the light in darkness. If I can come up here and see it from a different perspective, like an owl or an eagle, I can change my whole life in seconds. I saw this somewhere and I said, that's mine. All things come to me in perfect mature timing for my highest outcome and for the good of all. Because if I win, you win. If you win, I win. Why? Because you're going to share your wisdom, I'm going to share mine. And boom, we're gonna put those pieces of the pie together and we're going to have a whole pie, honey. Because remember, we only know a piece. And in my piece mixed with your piece, we got pies, honey. Money comes back to me multiplied on every dollar that was spent. Double, triple, quadruple. 100-fold on every dime that was spent, stolen, or taken without my knowledge, and 100-fold on everything my ancestors didn't receive because I receive it. I'm willing to open space for things I truly want by being gentle with myself. I'm intentional with love for myself. Honey, when I say loving on myself, I've been doing, woo, I'm like, girl, I'm proud of you. I saw this on Google and I said, thank you, Google, but I put some seasoning on it and some hot sauce. Spirit, if it's in my highest good, I remove all energy that doesn't belong to me from my energy field and I send it back to the rightful owner, cleansed and purified, no matter where we originally met. Universe, world, timeline, dimension, realm, a speck of space dust, a space rock. I sever the cord of connections. The lessons have been learned, and I release you to find your own way. I call all my energy fragments back to me now. I am free. I am free. I am free. I'm like Magneto. I'm putting all my stuff back. Everything. I'm like a magnet. Anything that's mine is just magnetized back to me. What? I now release all energies, traumas, and patterns, and anything from my ancestors that didn't leave. Honey, that aren't in alignment with my highest good across all timelines, dimensions, and realms. Honey, I pull all their stuff they didn't receive. Okay. I am free. I am free. I am free. Woo! I sit in peace while I trust the process and I don't rush the process. Can we wait when it's silent? Can we wait, child? I'm doing speaking engagements and podcasts that bring transformation. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Signature topic. Music is catchy. Helping visionaries reconnect, reinvent, go through the rebirth process, and rise with confidence. We're all visionaries with our own personal dreams. It's just we forgot about them surviving life. It's time to take it out of the back seat, put it in the passenger seat, put that defibrillator on it, and bring it back to life. Okay. It's time to say, clear, and bring that sucker back. Teaching individuals how to return to themselves, quiet the noise, and live boldly on their own terms, guiding through mindset shifts, emotional release, and soul level understanding, helping us all navigate reinvention, rebirth, set boundaries, and rise into our purpose with confidence, because confidence is the missing substance to faith. Without confidence, where we going? Hi, my name is Renetta Tesson, the owner and founder of Life Success Results LLC. Soul igniter, trauma overcomer, holistic spiritual strategist. I work with the whole being from my level of training, education, mind, spirit, soul, and body. I have a bachelor's and master's in healthcare to understand and comprehend mental and public health. If you have a public health issue, you have a mental health issue as well. Mhm. They go hand in hand, just like this. Massage therapy, Reiki and sound healing, holistic practitioner, where we pull out all the impurities from the rooter to the tutor. Human design practitioners, where we look at the original purpose and then we come back and look at it generational baggage. When I was asked, when I was given this task of having uncomfortable conversations with others, I knew then that my path would be different. And then it will probably be a little standoffish to others until they start doing their own work. But I didn't stop. I ask myself uncomfortable questions every day. And sometimes it's like simple questions like, what you want? And those questions can lead you down a road that you didn't even know you was going. To get out of old patterns, I do the work every day. And it's not always easy or pretty. But I wake up to confront the areas in me in love, to do a facelift, to go forward. And sometimes that love is just surrendering and doing nothing and allowing the wisdom to come to me instead of me seeking the wisdom. Mm. What are you afraid of losing? Is it once you see that colonialism has and imperialism has played everybody on the planet, you won't know what to do? If we're not fighting each other instead of working together as a team to bring about a change? How about we find ways to have conversations that cause a pause to see life differently in all areas? This will cause us to quit blaming someone else for our problems and see what we have might truly miss it. We can only see people fully where we have met ourselves. Remember that the next time you say you want a real relationship, because real relationships cause you to pull all that mask off. Everything that you hide behind. The inner child that you never healed, that inner teenager that you never healed. That's the mask that we're wearing. We have many adults who were never taught how to feel safe. They seek safety and validation on the outside of them because of a plethora of challenges that occurred in childhood processes. So I ask you, what emotion from your childhood pushed you in a corner and you made a vow not to do or be? Something happened. I make a vow I will never be like that. I'm never doing that again. Those vows are keeping God out of your corner. Don't you want to say, I renounce those vows? I renounce every vow I said out of fear, out of shame, out of guilt. You get the opportunity to renounce every last one of them. See, the vows we made is playing out on the big stage. That's what you see right now. Look around. We're blaming that one person, but that one person is everything that we've hidden from in ourselves. Remember how many percentage voted for that. I'm just saying, what you see is that it's time for a heart change. While we get to protest and speak our minds, are we helping that little girl or little boy inside to heal? That's your true shadow. I'm being commissioned to aid in the process by sharing how I overcame everything meant to keep me from coming into my true identity. I had to believe in myself and God. See, God is in me, but I had to find me first. Basically, I had to ask myself, what you want? What vows did you made in your childhood because of the injuries and everything that happened to you? What did you say? And it was hard because I didn't remember. So when you don't remember, it's hard to recollect something that you don't remember. That's why my ancestors told me to go get that rosemary herb, because it helps you remember. And honey, I remember all these vows I said in my childhood because I was hurt so bad. And those vows have kept God out, because those are doors in the basement that I put wood planks on, and I put all these iron doors up. And then in the minute that I open up them iron doors and I apply the wood off with the hammer, and I open the door and when I opened the door, I promise you it was like a gush of wind, and cobwebs was everywhere. And there was a little girl in the corner. She was crying so hard. And I was like, what's going on? And when the little girl looked at me, it was my little girl that was in me. She was no bigger than 4 years old. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. And I sat there and I just held myself for a minute and I cried. And I told her to come with me because we were going to make this right. See, we're taught that God is on the outside of us, but God is on the inside of us waiting to be tagged in to our battle. Ephesians 6 says, we're fighting principalities, rulers of the darkness, and spiritual wickedness in high places. Remember, we're spirits first. Then we live in a body and we have a soul. This is when negative thinking has gone on for so long that it's a norm in society. And that's what the Bible calls a multitude, the normal thinking in society. This is when they said, and they were thronging Jesus, and the multitude was thronging. That means the multitude of thoughts was thronging Jesus, but only the people that got a breakthrough was the people that saw it happening before it happened. You get to see it before it happens, and then when you see it before you happen, yes, you make a plan, but God laughs at your plan, but have a plan. But God laughs at your plan because as you walk in your plan, God takes over, and then you get to surrender. Or if you under Allah, you get to surrender because all roads lead to God. This is what every ascended master had a fight against. Mindsets of us who complain but don't want to do the work or don't know how to. And I don't want to forget about the other ones. Hecate, Krishna, Buddha, whoever you under, they waiting on you. You talking about you waiting on them. God waiting on you. Once you say I surrender, then we got a party started. It causes a dip in morale because you don't know what to do. You don't want to do it. You don't know what to do. And it causes a dip in your morale because you can't get out. You know why? Because it's ancestral. That's why. So to get out requires one to get uncomfortable and to get past the plateau of complacency. Or this is how we've always done it. Yeah, we're gonna have to get past that. We get that opportunity to say, mm-mm. And then we look at it, we see all the Asian groups, we see all the Latina and the Spanish groups, and we see and then we see the blacks and the African diaspora groups, and then we see the Caucasian groups, and we see how we all have been played by colonialism and imperialism. Every last one of us has been played. Every last one of us have been a slave to the system because we thought we could trust and we just tell that you will tell us what's going on. Mm-mm. But that's surrendering your power when you have a will. That's what it's called, willpower. You have a will. You have a power to say what you want to happen and what you don't want to happen. And the preamble to the United States said we the people, in order to form a more perfect union and establish justice and ensure domestic tranquility and ensure domestic welfare. Oh my God. Have you read the preamble? Once you read it, it's going to change your mind. It's going to change your mind and it's going to open your eyes to some stuff. And you're going to see we've been played a lot of years on this earth. You get to take back your power. You hear me? And quit being lied to. And then you can let go of this mental health problem of racism. Because that's what racism is. It's a mental health issue. Because it's not real. It's real in your head, but it ain't real in nobody else's head. And it's also some eggshells that you left on the ground, and I'm not gonna step over the eggshells. I'm gonna step right on them, and we just gonna have to deal with it. It's gonna be like Men in Black 2 when when Will Smith stepped on that roach, and that man got mad. It's gonna be like that. I'm gonna step on your eggshell, and you just gonna have to be mad, and you are gonna get the opportunity to work through your own crap, because I'm working through mine. Okay, and nobody's gonna carry you. And these tears, oh, I didn't know. Hush it. Okay? Because you always use tears. And we're played out of that. It's time to do some work. So roll up your sleeves and let's go. Because your inner child need to work. There are some freebies and a link to the podcast with the Women's Leveling Up that was done in the month of May. Don't forget to look at the 3 magazines I was covered in September, October, and December. Look in the description below and find the things that truly light you up and leave everything else behind. I cannot wait to talk to you soon. Remember, I placed the new link to my own personal bookstore. My books incorporate the essence of God. If you want to feel the presence of God, read In the Garden with the Father, Understanding True Intimacy, no matter your background. And go ahead and call your energy back. Okay, call your energy back while you at it. Page 102. Be at peace. I'm doing so much of this season. Sit back and enjoy the ride. I know what you need and how to get it to you. Hush your fuss and get on the bus. Hush your fuss and get on the bus, God. God will always give you a word in season and out of season if you're ready for it. Honey, and don't forget about my other 2 books, Befriending the Shadow, Unshakable Peace, Unstoppable Change. Both of those are shadow activity books. Break it down. You get a word of knowledge, confirmation bird. Just because you're working on your shadow don't mean it should be hard. You get shadow activity, you get a word of knowledge, you get then you, on top of that word of knowledge, you also get what is that? An exercise. Okay, that is an exercise. Then you get a question. The question is not so nice. Then after that question, what you gonna get after that question? You know what you finna get? A color page. The color page, God asked me to keep it between the age of 5 and 10. Why? because between the age of 5 and 10 is when generational issues happen. Okay. You know what I'm talking about. The stuff that nobody wants you to talk about. They're talking about what goes on in this house stays in this house. That's why it's went on too long. Okay? You know what I'm talking about. Woo! It's time to handle somebody with the fullest esteem of the law. You know what I'm talking about. Honey, it's just time to deal with some stuff. And then after you deal with all of that, okay. And then by the age of 10, it's solidified in the system. Because by the age of 7, it's solidified. By 10, it's really in there. And by the age of 21 and 25, it's your responsibility to walk through that process. Okay. Then you have 4 pages per chapter. It's 22 chapters per book. You have 4 pages per chapter to walk through, doodle, draw, sketch, script, write down your dreams, write down your visions, do whatever. Because the closer you get to God, I promise you, you're going to start having Stranger Things moments and X-File moments, because that's how it works. The closer you get to God, you start having paranormal events, and it's not scary like Insidious is. That's different. That's somebody that don't play with something. Okay? God is love. God don't do that. No matter what your background. Because God don't care nothing about your... Okay? God don't care nothing about your background. What it has on your head. Even if you got pink fuzz on your head. God know that too. All right. And notebooks and journals for all and coloring books for all to help in meditating and recalibrating the mind. I'm excited about this venture. Why? Because I'm in charge of my own intellectual property. Although I got a lot of stuff on Amazon. Check it out. But my specialties are on my own personal bookstore. Don't forget about the link to the 105 spiritual laws that govern the earth. And okay, but remember, we are no longer underneath the law. We're underneath love and grace, a whole new paradigm. 2 paradigms. We had a paradigm shift. Okay, don't forget to sign up for the newsletter for the juicy updates and the upcoming events. All right, don't forget about your adjective and your 400 values PDF. You put them together, and guess what you do? You mess around and change your whole sim scale to this janky promoter game. Don't forget to look at my school app. I'm just getting things started together over there. I was inducted into the new class of Who's Who of 2025 influential women in women worldwide. Okay, and then look what I received in 2017 for my recognition. Okay, for what I did with my nonprofit. Okay, my nonprofit, I was bringing women and teenage girls out of sex trafficking. I had a lot of help, but then I looked up, everybody was gone because I had my head to the plow. And I looked up, everybody was gone. I said, well, fine, I'm still doing it. This my nonprofit. Okay. So I kept going, and then I was helping teenage girls that came out to their parents as LGBTQAI, and teenage girls that came out and said that they was pregnant to help them to get them. Their parents kicked them out. So we was living in a state at the time that you mess around and get kicked out, you out here on your own, and that we had interstates everywhere, and you get snatched, and you ain't never been seen again. And then they'll be on the news, say, bring my baby home. No, you put them out there to be taken. Okay. So I took them and put them into like homes and checked on them until they said if they were good, they needed to be checked on no more. Then I was helping women that was in domestic violence. 2 of the women that we lost because they went back more than once. There's so much you can do. Okay. Then we was helping people that lost everything in fires and floods because I had like a storage unit. At first I had it in my house. Then I had a storage unit where I had beds, TVs, mattresses, clothes, everything. And you could just pull everything out. They could just get what they needed. And they would come and I would say, how many bedrooms you got? And they would say, and I was like, that's how many bedrooms you take. And I would take it out and they could just put it in their truck and everything. Why? Because there was other families that needed this help. And then I was giving them like toiletries that had toothbrush, toothpaste, just little simple things you need. Because when you lose everything, and the women, I made sure they had like the things that they need for every month. And then I also made sure they had fingernail polish and fingernail polish removal. Why? It's the simple thing. They had deodorant. It's the simple things. When you lose everything, you don't have deodorant. You don't have a toothbrush. You don't have toothpaste. You don't have menstrual pads. You don't have tampons. You don't have nothing. And I gave them $20 gift cards so they could, and it was reloadable, so they could go wherever they needed to go. There was some underwear, some socks, some t-shirts. You lost everything. Everything is gone. And people forget that everything is gone. You starting all over from scratch. And you just, right now, you're in shock. You don't know what to do. You see what I'm saying? So helping them getting back started, because I was homeless and I know how that feels. And then for Thanksgiving, I helped this one family out, and I ended up helping a whole bunch of people more for Christmas. This one family I helped out, found out that she needed help with her children, so I helped out. And then she told me how everybody was getting laid off for Christmas, and I found out the people's names and put their names in a bowl. And then I pulled out two names and found out their children and everything. And the children got two gifts for Christmas. And then I made sure that their Christmas meal was catered. So I bought the catered meal. I think I went to Honey Baked Ham or something like that and catered a meal. Made sure they had all the things that they needed. And then I bought $150 worth of groceries to be in their house to hold them down until they could find a job. Because when you're stressed and you don't know, I've been homeless. I've been laid off. I know what that feels like. And so because I know what it feels like, I was doing what I could do for my community. I found a hole and did my best that I could fix it. Okay. And I was wishing I could have did more. But guess what? When it's just you, hey man, sometimes you just keep going no matter what's going on, because God is looking at what you're doing. And God said, whatever you do in private, God will reward you in public. Let me tell you something. I'm so glad that God pays attention to what you see. When everybody walks away, God pays attention. God doesn't forget about the things we do for others without fanfare. I put the pictures and everything up on my website and on my Facebook page, Refuge Women's Transition Center, and that was it. God is faithful, and I'm thankful for everything that God has done for me. Don't forget to look at the link to receive 100. Don't forget to look at the link to receive 25% off your first order. This is the company I use along with all natural remedies. I was given a diagnosis in 2017 of breast cancer. I ain't take none of them treatments. I said, you can keep that. They said, well, it's all on your left hand side and you got 6 months to live. And I said, well, you know what? If that's where I'll be out of here in 6 months then. But I'm gonna put my hands in I'm gonna put my life in my own hands. And if I'm gone, I'm gone. I ain't tell nobody what I was doing. And because there was so much going on in my life at the time. I don't know what that's about, but there was so much going on in my life at the time. You're gonna just have to go with this. You just gonna have to hear the party going on outside. Okay, so there was just so much going on in my life at the time.